Check, check, 1, 2. Perfect. All right. We are. It is 6:43. We're going to get going here. So, the purpose of this practice is whether you're a varsity referee, JV referee, freshman referee, middle school youth football referee. All right? And like I said in the email, referees get injured during a game. They can get injured during a game. So if your crew has not already discussed it, every crew should have a backup referee to jump in. I know I have in the past, in certain games, second half, I actually had that backup referee work the second half to get them experience. In the right game, right situation, it's okay to have your backup referee get some experience as a referee, even though they're normally an umpire, normally a backup. All right, just like the backup quarterback gets reps in the right games, right situations. All right, so feel free, the referees of the crew, if you have a backup referee, you want to get them varsity experience, you could do that, just like a team would do a backup quarterback. All right? All right, so here's our agenda. We're going to introduce our instructors today. We're going to go over pregame responsibilities, free kick situations as a referee position, pre-snap responsibilities, roughing, and then what I feel is most important, representation of the crew, not most important for the game, but representation of the crew is a foul routine. So Jason Ford will be doing pregame responsibilities. Lance Clark is coming from a back-to-school night to do free kick situations. If he's not here right away, we'll go to number 3, but Lance said he'll be here by 7 o'clock. We should be good. And then Tom Hendricks will do roughing, and then I'll finish it off with foul routine. So with that being said, Jason, you sort of want to introduce yourself, how long you've been officiating football, and how long you've been a referee. All right.
So my name is Jason Ford. I actually came here from Kansas City 7 years ago. I've been a referee full-time the entire time I've been here in Omaha. I did some white hat work in Kansas when I was in Kansas City, and I'm about 11, 12 years in. What you're going to find out with regards to this is I'm going to talk about what I do, but it's going to be one of those presentations where it's not, there's a right way and a wrong way. The way I do it, it's going to be a little bit different than the way Sean does it, the way that Lance does it, the way that Tom does it. But it might give you some ideas about what you want to put in with regards to your pregame. So, first slide. This is my standard letter. There's a million of these going around. You all have your own. The only thing I'd bring to your attention is make it easy. So I have this. The body of it doesn't change unless the time of the game changes. And I throw these out on every Sunday night, which is the same time I do my baseball, the same time I do my basketball, is on Sunday nights. One thing, if you haven't been to the school before, look to see what it says in Arbiter, and where I put location, sometimes I'll put, according to Arbiter, your field is such and such. Because if you go to East Butler High School, the first time that we had a game there, we drove to East Butler High School. There's no football field there. They play their football games the next town over. So Arbiter can be wrong and send you to the wrong place. Arbiter has sent us to the middle of a cornfield. That happens. So if you haven't been there before, yes. Is this not working?
So real quick, it's not Arbiter that is wrong. It is Sean Johnston that is wrong. So when I am wrong, please let me know. So Paul Sorgan doesn't go to the cornfield. So Jordan Stewart doesn't go to the cornfield. So I could correct and get it right.
As Sean's legal counsel, I was not going to pin that on him. But the guilty many times self-incriminate themselves. Next one. So the crew pregame, everybody again has their own way of doing it. It's one of the good benefits of having to drive is that we have time to talk. And what I address in the pregame in the vehicle is going to be dependent upon what part of the season we're in. If we start off the season, it's going to be, for example, our first 8-man game. Eric, how many linemen in an 8-man game have to have jersey numbers between 50 and 79? Right. Just to remind everybody, their numbers don't matter in an 8-man game. I create flashcards that I can pass around to others so I can let other people talk. As we get later on in the season, we'll talk more about the individual teams because we have more film on them. There are white hats that have crew members bring in their own questions. They'll assign somebody of the crew to handle a certain topic. I don't typically do that simply because I have certain things that I want to address, but there's a lot of good referees out there that spread that duty out. I was in a game in Kansas. I was a replacement for someone who was on vacation, and we sat down in the locker room, and the white hat pulled out 8 pages, 4 pages double-sided, and started going through it. Don't do that, okay? Only thing you're going to do is make their eyeballs go up into their skulls. Pick a few things, hit them well, talk about them, and then move on. There's no way you're going to be able to hit everything that's possibly going to happen during this football game. The last thing that we do before we go out on the field is I have my Marine take us through what we should have on our bodies. Okay? Everybody have the flag. Everybody have the radio. Back judge, have you got 2 bean bags? Da-da-da-da-da. We have done that and have found out that someone forgot a whistle. All right? So that's just kind of a thing that we do. And I'm going to pick upon Eric again because he's on my crew. The last thing that we always do before we go out on the field is what? Check our zippers. Learn that from trial practice. Before you ever go into a courtroom, you check your zipper. All right? Next one is a meeting with the head coaches. And I have a celebrity to help me explain what I want to do. As Mr. Simmons says, KISS, and I'm using it, keep it simple, stupid. If I spoke about everything that a referee has told me in a classroom setting or in a conference setting, I'd be there for 15 minutes. Okay? The truth of the matter is the coaches don't want to talk to you. They definitely don't want to listen to you. And whatever you say just goes out the window. So with that in mind, I'm going to direct how much I speak to the coach about based upon whether I think he's even paying attention to me. So if we go to the first step is I hand them the card. Again, I think that Sean handed out one of his cards. Ours is very similar to that. Get it pre-printed, print it on your printer, okay? Have I ever had to write one on 2 slips of paper in the locker room because I left them on my printer? Yes, that happened to me one time, all right? It's going to look sharper, though, if you've got it printed and ready to go. When we meet with the coaches, I have each of the crew members introduce themselves. It gives them a chance to talk and to make a connection with the head coach. More important than even the things that we're saying is how we say it to the head coach. Approach this as, I'm a professional. I'm here to do a service for these kids. I'm here to listen. I'm here to work hard. And once I come in front of the head coach, I don't take my eyes off of him. Okay? His eyes may leave mine as he's talking to Eric and all the other members. I never let him leave my eyesight. When he's telling us such things as who his captains are, I don't write it down. Okay? I wait until after we talk to both the coaches, then my crew members tell me who the captains are. The reason I do that is I'm trying to make a connection with this man. Yes, sir, Arthur. Oh, Arthur didn't want to ask me a question. He wanted food. And Estella. When the crew introduces themselves, if you're a winger, make sure your wingers say, hey, coach, I'll be on your sideline today. I'm Eric O'Malley. All right? Again, create the relationship before the game ever begins. Next slide. So that's the introductions. Now, then we have the Miranda warning. It's the only thing that you, by gosh, have to say in the meeting with the head coach. All right? There's no wiggle room. It's just like the Miranda warning. Even if you know that he knows what it is, you say it to him anyway. Even if the man or woman who's arrested says, I want to tell you all the crimes I committed, you still have to give them a Miranda warning. And that's all players legally and properly equipped. And the reason being is that if we have a problem with illegal equipment down the road, then we've already put him on notice. We're asking you about this. You told us as the head coach, your players are squared away. Therefore, we may end up penalizing you. Next one. This is my favorite part. So I've done the introductions. I've given the Miranda warning. Now I want to show the coach that I've done my homework and my crew has done its homework. And you will get some very significant reactions when you say to the head coach, Coach, is Bob Jones going to be your quarterback tonight? Okay. That they automatically know, they've done some homework, all right? They already know things about us. That's good. That's good. And even if you're wrong, because at least once a season, I'll end up saying, hey, is Johnny Smith going to be your quarterback? And they go, no, he got expelled. Or he's sick. Or he pulled a hammy yesterday. That's fine. He'll say, okay, no, it's not going to be Jimmy Smith. It's going to be Johnny Jones. Great. I also ask about punters, simply so I line up on the correct side when you have the first punt. I ask about captains, but as I stated, I keep my eyes on him. I'm not recording that. I'm showing him that I'm interested in what he has to say. I don't need to record it. I got 4 other dudes who are going to get the numbers for me. So let's go to the next one. These are the kind of the questions that, depending upon the audience, depending upon whether he's paying attention, I may pull these out. Any special plays or formations you want to make us aware of. If you know that the team uses a swinging gate on extra points, bring it up right away. All right? Telling them where the coin toss is. Get back, coach. Are you going to be the one responsible for timeouts? They always say yes, so why bother doing it? I stopped asking about casts and splints simply because I had too many times where I said, Coach, you have any players that have casts or splints that we need to take a look at? No, none at all. And I turn around, and here's 2 linemen from his team with big old casts on. I just stopped asking. Okay? He's not listening, so why waste my breath? I have other things to get done. But if I see the cast already, I might bring it up to him. And then the last one is, again, you've met Eric O'Malley. He's going to be on your sideline. If you have a question or a concern, tell Eric. Eric will contact me on the radio. We'll get it taken care of. Okay. Walking the field. I'll do the last part first. Theater versus necessity. We don't walk the fields on any other games other than varsity. Is that to say that the ankles of JV players and freshman players don't matter? Sure they do. They matter. So why don't we walk the fields on those games? Well, there's a part of a theater with regards to this, all right? And let your crew know that it's important that we're doing it for safety, and B, we're setting the tone, all right? So if you're just kind of trudging along and not really looking around and not doing anything, that sets a tone. I'm not saying you have to march like you're in the Marine Corps, but have a purpose, okay? And if I get towards the end of the field and I don't see anything, I make it up. I point to something. I say to my partner, look at that. Look at that over there. All right? It's the theater of it. We do need to check the pylon placement. You will find sprinkler heads. The main thing is if you find a big hole, you find a sprinkler head, you find a gopher hole, make sure that the winger on that side, on both sides, tell their head coaches about it. And the head coach is not going to care. But at least we can say, we warned the visiting team there's a big hole right over by the goal line so that they know about it. Next one. So, coin toss, I'm a firm believer, just like Sean says, is getting as many check marks on your evaluation form as possible. And there's so many of these that are totally within our control. Having good-looking uniforms, walking the field, talking to the clock operator. Those are all totally within our control. Well, one of them that you get evaluated on is the coin toss. And this is the basic lineup. You do it, as you well know, at midfield on the home side, or at least the press box side. And you have the referee at one end, umpire at the other. The line judge, well, that's his sideline anyway, so that makes total sense. The back judge in the middle and the head linesman's on the opposite side. We'll address this, right? I mean, my crew has been together now for 2 years, all right? They're all smart fellows. They know how to do this. Before the first game, I'll remind them, all right, does everybody know where they need to be for the coin toss? Does everybody know where they need to be for a measurement? And then we'll go around the vehicle. Eric, where are you on this? Jesse, where are you on this? all right, just to reaffirm what they already know. Next one. In this situation, I do the opposite of what I do when I meet with the head coach. I introduce the crew as opposed to them introducing themselves. There's not 100% rhyme or reason to it other than I'm in control of it, and I can again use the theater to my advantage. All right? It's really inappropriate for Jesse Schutz to say, I'm your umpire and I'm a United States Marine Corps member. It's absolutely appropriate for me to say, if my umpire is speaking to you, pay attention. He's a Marine. He's trying to help you, not punish you. I take the time to tell the captains, if one of the crew members is talking to you, listen. All right? We're there to help you. We're trying to make it so we don't throw a flag. And one of the last things I say to them is, you are the captains. Therefore, if you see or hear one of your crew members acting a fool, step in before one of the crew members has to throw a flag. And I put that directly on their shoulders. And I think that's the last one. It is. Any questions? Anybody do anything different that they want to share? Okay.
All right, so Lance, I'm going to hand this to you. Clark, I do have enough. So, Steve, you didn't get one.
Stay within my time period.
I just wanted to make sure everybody got one that was a referee. Who else did not get a pack? Bryce, you get one? Eric? All right, so again, every referee has different expectations, different standards, and nothing that I have done, I have created. I have borrowed from other referees. But it's other referees that I borrow from. It's not just from one referee. So just go through this. I always try to get a card that a coach could react to somehow, some way. All right, so that's why on the YouTube, we put the YouTube channel in there. The blue, so Jordan Stewart is blue, Matt Krause is blue. Why is it blue? Well, that's the sideline that they will be on, so the coach knows who to yell at. Because I tell them, yell at my sideline guys, don't yell at me. All right? Again, it's not the same thing every single time. You read the audience. So then on the second one, I'm not sure if they're all in the same order, but this is my penalty card and my game card. So yes, NSAA sends theirs out. I find the NSAA one small and I can't get all the information on it. So I use that for sub-varsity. And then for the varsity games, because I want to write down all my fouls. I want to write down all the scores. All right, so that's a game card one. Jason shared his confirmation email. This is the confirmation email I print out, or not print out, send out. And I always copy and paste it, and I put it in as an attachment. It is amazing on how many people get this in football. All right, you want to talk about a sport when it comes to administration. There's about 30 people involved in a school to have that football game go, and this goes to 30 people. It's just forward all. All right, so, and then the last one, Jason's talking about doing their homework. So this is what I got. I just put a GPAC logo on it. All right, I actually got this from a Division I supervisor. And doing your homework, right-handed quarterback, who's the captains? Because the previous game, the captains walk out to the field, right? So if I see that on Huddle, I start writing down numbers from that coin toss. All right, so that's what, again, just more resources for you. As examples, if you want stuff to actually, if you want these documents, I could forward it to you so that way you could print it and use it yourself. Zach? All right, excellent. All right, moving on to the next one.
And actually, to piggyback on Sean, for us old guys, I made one that's really big that you can see, so you don't have to worry about squinting for the game cards. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, my name is Lance Clark. This is my third year as a referee. I've been officiating football for probably 20 years off and on. I did all of Bergen's middle school games when they were at home and local. I live in Fremont. So I'm going to talk about the free kick situations. As far as free kick, even though it seems like it doesn't happen very often. I think it averages somewhere around 3 times a football game or depending upon if you're getting blowouts and stuff. But it is a very important part of the game, and it can be a huge turning point. And it can also be a huge safety factor when you've got high school kids running full speed and trying to blow each other up. So as far as the legal formations, I've got 11-man in black, and then I've got the 9-man and less in red, just because they are some different situations as far as that goes. Free kick line is at the 40-yard line. It has to be between the hash marks. My back judge will go out and he will go to the middle of the field, and the first thing he asks them is if they want to move it, and then he walks it to the position that they want, so that then they can take it from him at that position, so that he kind of has control of that football the whole time. As far as 9-man and below, they are kicking from the 30-yard line, since it's only an 80-yard field, but the same rules apply as far as between hash marks go. The receiving team must be beyond 10 yards. So obviously that's midfield for both fields, the 50-yard line on a 11-man game and the 40 for 9 and less. If it is following a safety, it is at the 20 and 11-man, and at the 15 for 9-man and below. I should correct myself. 9-man can also play on a 100-yard field. So obviously if it is the 100-yard field, you use the 11-man yardage for those fields. If they're playing on the 80-yard field, then you would go to that other the red numbers. The kick after a score or to begin a quarter or the game or the half has to be actually a kick. It cannot be a punt. Following a safety, it can actually be a punt at that point, but the punt has to be released behind the 15-yard line. The punter cannot step over that line before he kicks. Otherwise, it is an offside penalty. As far as the next bullet, this is one of those rules that when I first got back into officiating, I had to look at that and I could not figure out what the heck they were talking about, a free kick directly after a fair catch. What that means is usually you're going to get it deep into a half or deep into a game where time might be running out. Team A kicks or punts to Team B, and let's say they fair catch it at Team B's 48-yard line, so they're just past midfield. They can actually attempt a free kick similar to a kickoff, and if they make it through the uprights, it is worth 3 points. In that situation, the defense or the receiving team, it would be listed as, still has to be beyond the 10 yards, so they cannot attempt to block it. In this situation, the kicker has the option of obviously kicking it off the tee. He can, or she can kick a lower trajectory, get a little bit better distance on it, and if he makes it or she makes it through the uprights, it's 3 points. Doesn't happen very often. I believe the last time it was even attempted in the NFL was back in like 2019. Doesn't happen, but it can. So that's one of those situations you really have to be aware of in case that situation arises. As far as 11-man, kicking team must have at least 4 men on each side of the kicker. They cannot be across the kicking line, so they cannot be across the 40 before the ball is kicked, nor can they be deeper than 5 yards behind the free kick. The only exception would be if there is a holder on a windy day, or if they have a placeholder, his knee can be on the line or across the line. And the kicker can obviously step across to get his or her steps off, and the kicker can progress deeper than 5 yards. The players that are within that 5 yards, both feet have to be inside the 5 yards. It can't be on the line. They can have their hand on the line. I'm not sure why they would want to have their hand behind them on the line, but the rule states 2 feet in front of that 5 yard boundary as far as the lineups.
Before you go forward, referees in the room, that 4 on either side, that is your call.
Yes.
That is,
Yeah.
you are the only one that has to look straight down the field. And so whenever I see 6-4, I get nervous. Because if they're going to do that 4th player and they're going to kick it to the side of 6, that's why they go 6-4. Because they want to kick it to the side where there's 6 covering players. So if that 4th one crosses that ball, or really the kicker, not the ball, crosses that kicker before it's kicked, I have called it once in my career. You have this referee running down the field, blowing his whistle, stopping the game, and everyone's like, what is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
It's because that 4th player went to the other side of the field. Okay, so
And that is a dead ball foul.
Dead ball foul.
It is 5 yards, illegal procedure. Back them up, and they have to attempt the kick again. As far as pop-up kicks are illegal. Is that a video? Is that what you got linked?
Yeah.
Okay. A pop-up kick is essentially when the kicker comes in, and you used to see it quite a bit. Kicker would hit the top of the ball. It hits the ground directly in front of the tee and goes high up in the air. It used to be used to send a bullet down and try to blow somebody up so that your team can catch that ball before it hits the ground or recover it after it crosses the 10. And Sean's going to pull up a video here to kind of show you what it looks like. Wait here.
And I play this video. So all of these, escape. Oh, no. Escape. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Good. End show. There it is. Whew. All right, all these videos are old videos when pop-up kicks were legal, but this is a reminder of why they are illegal. All right, let's get to the play. Boom, here's the first play. So directly into the ground, up in the air. So again, those of you who've been officiating quite a while, you could take a look at the officials' uniforms. All right. So this is a illegal pop-up kick. Directly into the ground, high into the air. Now let's take a look. A lot of things illegal here. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 players not inside the 5 yard belt. Now, the thing about it is the player that actually kicked the ball was inside the 5 yard belt. But if one of those players are outside, only player that could kick it is the one that is outside the 5 yard belt. So this is a illegal kick. Reminder, referees, you have the best vision of the field. How many receivers could give a fair catch signal? All of them. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And if all of them give it, all of them are protected. All right, I have seen this before live on a pooch kick. The coach, none of them could block, correct. Right. But all 11 can signal fair catch, and all 11 are protected. All right, it happens on pooch kick is where that happens. All right, now this is the reason why this play is illegal. I think it's 54, so if you watch 54 here, what happens to him? No, it wasn't 54, sorry.
Oh. 18.
It's 18.
Yep.
All right. So these are the plays why a pop-up kick are illegal. All right, and we put this in the referees. Yes, we covered it yesterday in the back judge. Any official who sees an illegal pop-up kick, this is a safety rule, call it, blow it. Our goal is to make sure this collision doesn't happen. Any official could call an illegal pop-up kick. It's not only on the back judge. So when in doubt, so the question was, how high is high in the air? When in doubt, it's an illegal pop-up kick. Any safety foul, when in doubt, it's below the waist. When in doubt, it's an illegal blindside block. Yes. Illegal pop-up kick, automatically shut down, everybody blow the whistle, so that collision doesn't happen.
And you were asking about the form. Yeah, formation is immediate.
Yep, so 3 on one side, 7 on the other, shut it down. Yep, free kick infraction, shut it down.
And I think the other, the second one that he showed, only the kicker that addresses the football can kick the football. So where they had guy come at it, if he was the one that actually set the ball on the tee, he is the one that needed to kick that football because he's the one would have been the one that addressed it. But I think they had the guy that came and ran, and then he ran down the line, and the other guy kicked it the other way. The kicker that addresses the ball and sets it down, they're the ones that are having to kick that ball as well. There's also blocking rules to protect the kicker and holder. They cannot be blocked within 5 yards. That is going to be a back judge call as far as, or a back judge and lineman call for those distances. And then also, obviously, like we saw that number 18 got blown up there. There are rules against the kicking team blocking on those onside kicks ahead of time to try and free somebody up to allow them to get the football. Next screen. Okay, so as far as kicking out of bounds, without a touch by the receiving team has 3 options. They can take 5 yards from the previous spot and re-kick. They can go 5 yards from the succeeding spot, which is where it went out of bounds, and then it would be the receiving team's ball, 1st and 10 or 1st and 15 if you're talking about 6-man. Or they can take it 25 yards from the previous spot, and it would be 1st and 10 or 1st and 15. In this situation, we are going to, whether we know it or not, we're going to probably want to be smart and kind of use some common sense. If the ball goes out of bounds at the 5-yard line, we can assume that either they're going to want that re-kicked or they're going to want that ball at the with the 25-yard gain. Don't make it too difficult on the coaches in this situation. They're going to appreciate the common sense that we're going to be using for stuff like this. If the ball is touched by the receiving team, it goes out of bounds. It is our ball, 1st and 10 or 1st and 15 at that spot. If they muff it and it goes out of bounds, that's a live ball, and they just get it 1st and 10 or 1st and 15 at that spot. As far as the touchback, any ball that goes untouched by K, crosses the plane of R's goal line, is a touchback. This includes a muff by the receiving team. If they muff it at the 10-yard line and it still has momentum and crosses the goal line, it's a dead ball. It's not live. Once it crosses the plane, it is going to be a touchback, and it will be R's ball, 1st and 10 at the 20. In 9-man and under, it's going to be R's ball, 1st and 10 or 1st and 15 at the 15. Again, 6-man uses that 1st and 15 or the 15-yard chains as far as the first down goes. And then finally, positioning and what to watch. For the officials, for referees, obviously we've got to know our players. If we're doing a 3rd and 4th grade team, there's a good chance that they're not kicking that ball to the goal line. But at the same time, with a good wind, you get a kid that's got some girth to him, might get lucky. So always try to start the game on the goal line, and then obviously adjust from there. Varsity is on Friday nights. Park yourself on the goal line. In between position 4 and 5, you're going to be on the same side as the head linesman. That way you're across from the press box. You've got that wide open spot so that the head linesman is a little bit farther up the field. and the umpire is closer back on the 20. So you can cover a little bit more of the deeper stuff. Stay deep, again, unless you know it's going to be a short kick, or if you're getting deeper in the game and you realize that the guy hasn't hit the 20-yard line all night, you can sneak up a little bit. But just keep in mind, it's always easier to work forward. If they're kicking it over your head and you're trying to backpedal or work backward, you're gonna fall down. You're gonna mess something up. So always try to stay back and work forward. Always check your positions. What I always do is I'll point to both sidelines, and as I get my thumbs up, or my hands up with the beanbags or without, I point as I get my sidelines. I give a thumbs up to that side. I give a thumbs up to that side. That way, my guys know that I'm ready to blow the whistle, and then I'm going to blow it in for ready for play. As far as what to watch, the best situation is to just have the closest official wind the clock as far as ready for play, or I'm sorry, to notify, to roll it. Just because that guy is the closest one, we don't need to see five arms spinning around, especially if it's the back judge on the backside. Aim for the closest guy. Tell your crew, if that ball is coming into your section, you are winding the clock as soon as that ball is touched. As a matter of fact, what I tell my guys is, if that ball is a foot in the air away from the guy, wind it then, because there's always that delay from the timekeeper. And so they can get the clock winding. By the time they see your arm wind the clock, they're going to have possession and the game clock should be correct.
Would it be good to also mirror the action though? Hypothetical, like if the linesman is wanting it and I see him wanting it, me mirroring his action by helping him want it.
I don't think you do
here's
not want
why. So the question was, should we mirror the action of winding the clock if we see somebody winding the clock? Now, I'm not going to say I don't see out of the periphery of my eyes. I'm not saying that. But if I am giving educated coaches something to yell at me about, if I'm watching you and I'm going to mirror you, that means I am not watching up the middle of the field where I should be watching. So.
Yeah, the only time I will mirror my crew is if. As far as ruling and everything, you want to keep your eyes. Matter of fact, I'll when I first came back and refereed for Sean, the first game we did, I was the umpire. First kickoff of the first game, the first time I'm doing a varsity game, guy right in front of me gets blown up, and as he's going backwards, grabs the guy, pulls him down on top of him for obvious holding, but I am watching my referee to see if he wound the clock, and I absolutely missed the play, and that's the first thing Sean said is that's holding. So watch your zone, trust your crew. That's the best thing you can do. Also, when you are that deep back, stay on that goal line, and you are the one that is going to rule on the touchback. You're also going to rule on momentum. If you've got a guy that's up and he is trying to catch a ball that's maybe going over his head, does an over-the-shoulder catch, if that momentum carries him into the end zone, that is a touchback. You have to rule on that. You're going to drop the beanbag at the catch. You're going to rule on that ball going into the end zone. If his momentum carries him into the end zone, you're blowing it dead. It's a touchback, 1st and 10 at the 20 or the 15. Make sure if the ball is coming deep to you, you're following that runner into the coverage of the next official. So if they're heading toward the umpire, as soon as they get into that zone of the umpire, you can give up possession of the runner, and then your eyes are going to float back behind the runner, behind the play, and then you're also going to be cleaning up on anything that is coming back behind. It's amazing how many cheap shots are missed because people are focusing here And even though the runner is right in front of the umpire, you're still following it. And then a guy over here gets blown up, and now all of a sudden he's out of the game because we didn't see something that's happening. So as soon as you give up that runner, you've got to focus back toward the center of the field, or obviously if it's the other side, focus back toward the center of the field. Make sure that you're not over pursuing. If there's some sort of reverse that's on or some sort of cutback, you don't want to be trapped in front of the play and then have to chase the guy going back around the other side of the field. Relax, trust your crew, stay in the middle of the field, and follow the runner if they come back. Yes.
So the momentum thing, if he clearly catches the ball on the 2 and his steps afterwards,
If you determine, yes, if you determine that he is, he asked if you catch the ball at the 2 and the momentum carries you into the end zone, is that still a touchback? And yes, if he catches it outside, but it's one of those where he's still running full speed and he goes into the end zone, it's a dead ball, it's a touchback. Now, if you rule that he stops and then takes an extra step and then goes, then all of a sudden you have that situation where he's going to be able to be a live runner. Is that different in?
We're going to confirm the momentum rule here.
That would be different from the interception.
Yes. Yeah. I'm thinking that I looked it up and I can't remember which.
It's not a clear catch. We use it on rule momentum, but it's a clear catch. We rule.
Yeah, in the case book, or not in the case book, in the manual, it says, look at this one.
We are looking up momentum rules. Well, 851 is the momentum rule. So let's look up 851.
Let's forward pass. Let's see. What did I see the free kick at?
All right, so so this is the exception to a safety. All right, so when a defensive player intercepts an opponent's forward pass, we're not worried about that. Or recovers an opponent's fumble or backwards pass, we're not worried about that. Or an R player catches or recovers a scrimmage kick or free kick between his own 5-yard line and the goal line, and his original momentum carries him into the end zone where the ball remains in the end zone and is declared dead in the end zone in his team's possession, or goes out of bounds in the end zone. The ball belongs to the team in possession at the spot where the pass, fumble was intercepted or recovered, or the kick was caught or recovered. So momentum rule, he catches the free kick at the 2. Momentum takes him in the end zone. The ball is still live. That player could still run it out. But if he's tackled in the end zone, we're putting it at the 2-yard line.
Okay, that makes sense.
On a free kick as well. Recovers a scrimmage kick, or if an R player, which is a receiver, catches or recovers a scrimmage kick or free kick between his 5-yard line and the goal line, and his original momentum carries him into the end zone, where the ball remains in the end zone and is declared dead in the end zone in his team's possession, or goes out of bounds in the end zone, the ball belongs to the team in possession at the spot where the pass, fumble was intercepted or recovered, or the kick was caught or recovered.
So if he stays in the end zone, takes a knee, or just stands there, dead ball, then it's a
Momentum
touchback.
rule. Nope, momentum rule.
Then it goes back to the spot.
The only time it will be a touchback is if the kick enters the end zone.
Okay, then
Kick status.
I read that wrong.
Yep.
Turning and running and catches it and wins inside the 5, and that takes him into the end zone.
Then
Not the kick.
Then it's at the beanbag. That's what. Okay, so that's what it is. Yep.
I have a follow-up question on that. In regards to the momentum rule, once that momentum carries them into the end zone, when are we determining their effort to get out of the end zone? Or are we determining that they are in the end zone and under that momentum protection until they get out of the end zone?
They break a tackle and they run to the other side, run around, and then you end up getting tackled.
You bring it back to the momentum spot.
Okay, so that momentum is basically the protection until they cross back over that goal line.
Correct.
And then if they cross back over again, then we are live and that could be a safety.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, that makes sense. So then, yeah, where the beanbag gets dropped, then it goes back to that.
Yep.
Like
Okay,
we were
that's
talking last time with punts. If it's not a clear catch, if it is a phone, if it is not obviously a clear catch outside the end zone, then we're going to touch that.
then it goes in. Yeah, then it falls under the muff. Yeah, then it falls under the muff rule.
All right. So I know we have a lot of visual learners.
Okay, so this is a free kick. Let's begin the game. Here's the referee. He said between position 4 and position 5. This referee is at position 5. This referee is looking at the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We're going to assume at least 4 on this side as well. So that's what the referee's looking at that moment in time. This referee does a phenomenal job. Did his head ever go up in the air? So I'm going to go back. Watch his head. Does his bill of his cap ever go up?
Mm-mm.
All right, that means he is watching players and not the ball. The ball will never foul if you're a basketball official. It never fouls. I never reported a foul on the basketball. And he's picking up the football. The status of the football is important here. Where's the football? Now we have a touchback, so that's telling me that kick ball crossed the goal line. All right, so now we'll go from the side angle. So now we have 5-5. I love 5-5 because somebody could cross over. We don't have a foul. All right, so that must have been close. I mean, this runner's already out of the end zone. But once that kick ball, touches that goal line, referees kill it. Because guess what? All these players running downfield, they're not going to hit each other. That's why the federation rule is the way it is. On a touchback, a kick ball that enters the end zone, muffed or not muffed, we're avoiding as much contact as we possibly can. Okay, so that's what that looks like mechanically and what we're looking for.
Hey, Sean, get back up a second. I just want to ask just a hypothetical. If when one of these players would look like he might have ended up pushing in the back or could have if it was his play. Right, a little bit longer.
Are we looking right here?
42. I think it's 42. Down.
Oh, right in the middle.
Yeah, in the middle of the field. Yeah. We'll just check out. Yeah, let's just leave it there just for a second there. So my question is, so the ball's on that side, and let's say there's a potential something right there. I'm trying to see, because I'm on this side because I'm normally headline. So I'm trying to look in. I'm looking. I don't care about 2, but I might be looking inner at that 43 and 5. I think there are always a problematic area. It's like where 15 is, in that middle area there, when there could be a blow up. I'm just wondering who's going to get eyes right there. If the ball's on by the referee. Who would you want to?
So if it's a safety foul, anybody who sees it. I don't want to get too much into, but it's lanes. This is the headlinesman lane. This is the back judge's lane. When I say back judge's lane, this is going to be the umpire lane.
Okay, there we go.
So wherever the lanes are. Now I will say this is part of what Jason said, doing homework. If I know I have a deep kicker as an umpire, when that ball is kicked, I am backpedaling as fast as I can. See how this official's just walking downfield? I am backpedaling as fast as I possibly can to get behind this ball. A new mechanic may be coming in 2025. The new mechanic's not here yet. All right, so to overcompensate that new mechanic, umpires and H's on a free kick, if you know you have a kicker who's kicking it deep, backpedal as fast as you can and get behind the ball. Now everything's looking up at you. Okay? So get downfield. Excellent, Lance. Appreciate it.
Awesome. I think that's everything.
All right, pre-snap. Yep, Eric.
On the addressing the kicker, where is that?
I think it has to do more with the 5 yard. Whoever addresses the football and puts the ball, they're going to go back that 5 yards. They're the only ones that can get. So
they're designated by the yardage of the line.
By the yard.
But not
Yep.
by them actually finishing.
yeah. So if I guess
As long as they stay within that 5 yard belt, anybody can.
yeah, technically I guess if somebody puts the ball down and they stop within the 5, anybody can kick it. But as soon as that person that sets it down, as soon as they address or back past the 5, nobody else can kick that
Yes,
ball.
right.
Then it's illegal procedure.
All right, so pre-snap routine. Everybody should have a pre-snap routine. I hope everybody has a pre-snap routine. So whether you're a referee, head linesman, line judge, back judge, umpire, I hope everybody has a pre-snap routine. And what that is we are doing our duties to make sure a play starts legal, and if it doesn't start legal, we shut it down. So referees, first and foremost, you have to finish the previous play. So I do not get to my pre-snap routine until my umpire actually puts down the football. I am continuing to officiate the previous play until my umpire puts down the football. So literally at that time, I now check my line of scrimmage officials. I confirm down distance and ball location. Now, if the box is wrong, so we went second down to third down, my umpire put down the ball at position 3. I am moving my down indicator. I am moving my position indicator. If the box is wrong, I'll come back to it. Because I have to get to my next thing on my pre-snap routine. At referee, I put position, yes. Now, some referees, they like to do clock status. You got to know your strengths and weaknesses on your crew. Okay? I have a very weak umpire, and now I'll know if he's paying attention to the meeting or not by saying that. But I always have to look at his ball position because what he'll do, he'll enforce a penalty incorrect just to get me upset. All right, so that's why I have, that's why I put ball position on for my crew. He's not weak, by the way, whatsoever. Then I count 11 offensive players. If time allows, I will count 11 defensive players. And here's why I do this. Back judges, if it's a long pass over the middle, they're hurrying up getting the ball. They're getting it back. They're getting the timing mechanism going. They're finding the 20 yards. All right, there are times that back judge is busy. All right, so it's not my responsibility, but if I have time, I'm counting 11 defense. Stay engaged with the huddle. Why do I stay engaged with the huddle? Number one, officiate. I want to know if there's 12 in the huddle. Are they communicating yet? You'd be surprised how many times a sub comes in, communicates with nobody in the huddle. So if they did not communicate with anybody in the huddle, leave the huddle, that 3 seconds has not started. They have 3 seconds once they communicate with the teammate to start that substitution. And I have used that to an opposing coach. They broke the huddle with 12. They had 12 in the huddle. Coach, that sub never communicated with anybody. I'm waiting for that communication. The other thing is, as you start working football, you start hearing plays, and you know what's coming. A run, a pass, a flea flicker, a hook and ladder. They will, like the special plays, it's not 24 jumbo red, blackjack, bingo. All right, it is very short and sweet. So you could get that information and step away and give your crew that information if you hear that play. But the big learning point here, pre-snap officials in high school football, they can break the huddle with 12. They just have 3 seconds from when they communicate to now get that 12th player out. I'm next to the huddle. Yeah, so a lot of times the 12th player comes in, they have the play from the sideline. They do. So they communicate to the quarterback, hey, this is our next play. But there are times it's quote-unquote late sub because the coach thought somebody was injured, so he goes, hey, Johnny, get in there. So they go in there. They don't know why they went in there. They weren't told to bring anybody out. So they don't communicate. They're like, coach told me to go in, so I'm going to go in. So once they leave the huddle, they're getting in formation. This is now where I'm going to get back to the box. All right, because there is nothing for me to officiate when 11 players are getting in formation. I'm not lining up offensive receivers. I'm not looking 50 through 79. Now I'm going back to that box. Is that box correct? Did we get that box correct? And if not, I'm getting on my O2O saying, Matt, please change the box to third down. Hopefully my line judge is going like this. This is a universal signal. Box is wrong. Once now they're getting in formation, I am responsible for the backs to get set for 1 second. Quarterback, running back, fullback, tailback. It is the players inside the free blocking zone that I'm responsible for. Line of scrimmage has enough to worry about the wide receivers. They have enough worrying about false start encroachment. I have the backs when it comes to getting set for 1 second. And then I continue to watch the backs who simulate the snap. So the head bob of the quarterback, the fullback or running back going hard like this and all of a sudden going this way. All right. So we're going to talk about this in line of scrimmage next week. But from a referee standpoint, you have abrupt, jerky movement, the head bob, the abrupt movement forward. Who are we really using to judge if it simulates the snap? Defense. All right? Defense is what we are. Once I see an abrupt movement, my eyes go to the defense. If I have a defense respond, enter the neutral zone, point at the back, I'm throwing my flag only on the backs. All right, so that's my pre-snap to snap. All right, those are the musts right there, the musts. All right, so now starting position. Yes, sir, Mike Edwards.
Sometimes quarterbacks do a lot of stuff. Not really big like that. They do rush up. Like, when did we judge that?
So
As a foul.
whenever they bob their head, they real abrupt, jerky movement, I'm looking at the defense. So once I see it, I'm now using the defense to let me know, did they simulate the snap? So as we're doing this, now Jason did a great job. If you have not downloaded the NSA observation form, they tell you, like Jason said, check mark every single box you possibly can. Control the controllables. 7 yards deeper than the deepest back, 7 yards wide of the deepest back. Throwing hand side of the passer. So it wasn't too long ago, it was 5 yards by 5 yards. It is now 7 yards by 7 yards. And I think this referee has it nailed. Touchback, 20-yard line. All right, so 20 minus 7 from the deepest back, or 10 minus 7 from the deepest back. He's at the 3-yard line. All right, so that is where you want to start. Anyone know the reason why that is the mechanic? Field of vision at the snap where you do not have to move. When it was 5 by 5, at the snap, the quarterback rolls out, you have to move right away. 7 by 7, I know it only sounds like 2 yards, 2 by 2, but that's a huge difference. 2 yards more behind the deepest back. They're not going 7 yards back. They're only going 4 yards back. So you have the field of vision without needing to move. So referees, when you're 7 by 7 snap, you should not have to move your eyes right away. That's the most crucial point to figure out your tackle. Go ahead. Yeah. All right, so now, pre-snap keys. I have the passer. I have the fullback, I have the running back. All right, back's in a free blocking zone. Go ahead, next one. The fouls that I'm going to be talking about or looking for, back simulating the snap, defensive reaction. Delay of game, 4-person, 3-person. All right, so I put this in here because we don't have a back judge in JV. We don't have a back judge in junior high, middle school. All right, so we are keeping the timer. Referees in here, we are doing the 10 seconds. You should be doing the 5 seconds. I know I do the voice as well as because the defense sees my chop, and then the passer hears my voice because I'm behind the passer. We are not doing that for varsity. Only 3-person, 4-person. Illegal substitution, 12 in formation, 12 in the huddle, more than 3 seconds. Illegal motion, back moving forward at the time of the snap, if abrupt, convert to false start. And then illegal shift, so I have Gretna Burke play number 2 that we'll get into. 2 backs moving, and both do not get set for 1 second. All right, if both are still moving, again, I am not putting that on the line of scrimmage. I am going to take the backs. If they both do not get set, I will have that for them.
John, are you calling it audibly when your back judge gives you the signal? Are you saying 10?
Yes.
When they start talking, saying 5?
Yeah, so the question is 5-person varsity. If my back judge raises their hand, I am saying 10 seconds. My back judge starts counting the 5. I only say 5. I do not go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, because that's not the philosophy when we get to 1 and 0. But I just say 10 seconds, 5 seconds. One more time.
If you have a play clock, does your back judge release it?
Yes. So if the question is if there's a visual clock on the field, does the back judge still do that mechanic of 10 seconds, 5 seconds? And the answer is absolutely yes, for consistency purposes. Not all schools have a visual play clock, so you're going to have visiting passers, quarterbacks, they're not used to looking at the play clock. So you want to do the same mechanics. So whether it's a visual or no visual, that both quarterbacks see that back judge. Great question there, Mike. All right, so these are the backs I'm responsible for as a referee. We have 3 of them moving. I am putting this receiver on the line of scrimmage official. I am responsible for these 3 backs moving as a referee. So now let's see if they get set for 1 second. Boom. Now they're set for 1 second. Once they're set for 1 second, now I will take on this running back, RB1. All right, so that's an example. That is a legal shift, but as a referee, you can't let the line of scrimmage take everything because they still have encroachment. They still have false start. You have to take the backfield in the free blocking zone as a referee. Any questions on that shift? All right. Now let's take a look at, now that we have the snap, what the heck do we do after the snap?
Just to confirm, dead ball versus live ball, shift and false start, dead ball, mid motion, live ball.
Correct. Nope. Shift and motion. Shift and motion are live.
Oh, both shift.
Shift and motion are live unless you convert it to false start. You could convert it.
Because they're not set.
No, because it's abrupt and it caused a defensive reaction.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
So now at the snap, tackle, point of attack. All right. Why are we looking at the tackles first? Pass or run. What do the tackles do on a run? They move forward. So once they move forward, I just got to find the point of attack. Are they running left or are they running right? Real simple. And I love runs. Because when I have runs, I don't have holds. Okay? Umpire may have holds. I don't have holds. All right? Very rarely will I have holds on a run. Tackle. Now passer. Now in a pass, what are the tackles doing? They're backing up. I am looking for the mismatch. If I don't know the mismatch that I'm going to have all game long after the first 2 series, I'm not paying attention to the game. So people always ask, do you start the left tackle first or the right tackle? Typically, the best tackle is the one covering the quarterback's backside. Typically. But if I have an even matchup on the backside, the best defensive end, the best tackle, and they're just neutral, I'm probably going to start on the weak side tackle. Because that defensive end might be better than their second tackle. All right, so again, the game situation will change which tackle I look at first. I look for the mismatch, and that's where I have to go. Because if I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, I'm going to miss something. All right, so I find the mismatch, and I stay with that as long as I possibly can. It's literally 1,000, 2 1,000. Now I got to get to the passer. I would rather miss a hold than roughing the passer. All right, so referees, please miss a hold over roughing the passer. All right, transition to that passer, which we're going to get into here in a second. All right, but I want to take a look at 2 more plays just to show the snap. All right, so read the tackles here. What type of play? Run play. Tackles went forward. All right, again, I love those plays as a referee. All I got to do is dead ball officiate, and I'm not starting my pre-snap routine until that play's over. Run, tackle's moving forward. Excellent. We'll take a look at one more play. What type of play? Sweet. All right, even that RPO, I saw the tackles go forward. All right, so now I look at the point of attack, now I get to the outside. All right, so when you get into that rhythm as a referee, and it's going to take time if you're a new referee, but once you get in that routine, the game's going to slow down and the game's going to be really easy. I know new officials are like, oh man, 22 players, who do I watch? Just watch your key. If you watch your key and trust your crew, you're going to be great. All right, so now, it's not I just got to find it again, Tom. Nope, I got it. All right, again, we want to miss a hold so we do not miss a roughing. So that's going to transition to our next topic, roughing, 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 when it comes to the only automatic first downs in high school football. So, Tom, you want to step up there, introduce yourself, and take it away.
Yeah. I'm Tom Hendricks. I've been doing this since 1999. I came back after a career change, and when I asked Sean about getting into it, he said, yeah, we'll put you in as a back judge. I said, Sean, I don't run that well. He said, all right, line of scrimmage official. I said, well, they spot the ball. My judgment's not great. He said, umpire? I said, I don't want to get hurt. He said, all right, you can't run. You have terrible judgment. You don't want to get hit. He said, oh, we need a white hat. So that's how I ended up doing this.
That's a true story.
It's truer than I'd like to admit. So my take on this is not so much the rule book and mechanics stuff, guys. It's some stuff I picked up over the years that might help. You know, a different way of looking things. Some of the things you kind of learn the hard way. So you want to be a white hat. That first picture, of course, is I don't even know who that coach is chewing that guy out. That right slide, Colorado Buffaloes 33, Missouri Tigers 31. Anybody recognize that? Fifth down game. Who's the referee in that game? J.C. Lauterbach. Okay. Nobody else in that game. So basically, if you want to be a referee, that goes with it. Okay. When Sean or Nate call, when the turds hit their turbine, they're not going to talk to your back judge. They're going to talk to you. Okay. Next one. Okay. Roughing is the only play, the only call that's automatic first down. Okay. And that could be a game-changing call. That slide on the right is, I think that guy's named Turkey Jones, slammed Terry Bradshaw by the head, we might want to throw on something like that. Okay? And there's not much help available on roughing, either roughing the passer, roughing the snapper, roughing the kicker. So you have to have your eyes in the right place so you can make a decision. The next one, Zach. Sean kind of talked to you about this. We'll pass this by. Just add one thing to what Sean said as far as which tackle you pick up. Look at the formation. If you got a trips formation like this, your wing official on that trip side is not going to give much help on the tackle. He's got 3 guys over there, so that's where your eyes want to go. Otherwise, you'll pick up like Sean said, the most challenged tackle. Okay, you own the backfield. When the colors change, I don't know if everybody knows what I mean by that. Like the white team's on offense, and you got this nice white wall. All of a sudden, here comes your green through it. When the colors change, that's when you pick up the first threat. And let that threat take you to the quarterback. Let that first threat take you to the quarterback. All right? Protect the franchise. If he goes into the bench, walk him out. All right? And next one. I know we've talked a lot about game cards and stuff. This is one of the things that we use. I write down on my game card who the quarterback is, if he's right or left-handed. Because I can't remember. I can hide my own Easter eggs. I can't remember anything. So I write it down on here that Ashland Greenwood's quarterback, Dane Johnson, he's right-handed. The last thing I want to do in the meeting is ask, is Coach, your quarterback right-handed? No, we should know that. Go ahead, Zach. The next one, just the back of our card. And I put penalty choice on there because that last 2 minutes, I can't remember, so I have it on the card that they have a choice to take it on the snap. You know, little thing, but it kind of helps. Okay. Roughing the passer. I don't know if you remember. That wasn't called, by the way. That was Nebraska K-State. Way back when. Eric Crouch got his head. It's Eric Crouch, if you can't tell. About got his head taken off. That wasn't called. Might want to throw on that. Okay. So basically, as you guys know, quarterback, the defender gets 2 steps. That's why we say ball's away. Ball's 1 step, away is 2 steps. Anything after that, we got to make a decision. All right? Roughing the passer is an attempt to punish. All right? What does that mean? What's punish mean? All right, helmet contact, which you could also have spearing, you could also have targeting. Okay? Hit to the head or neck if they go up high. Face mask. A push tackle, and that's one that you got to catch early. It's just that little follow through, and the defender's like, what? And the best way, if you don't throw on it, if you don't take it, guys, it's a talk to. It's like, dude, does your coach teach you to tackle like that? Is that how you guys tackle? Is by pushing guys down? If you don't get on that right away, that little push is going to be a harder push, and then his teammates are going to take care of it. Then you got a mess. And the other one is a low hit, is a cut. If they come in low without wrapping up, I'd take a look at that. Now, we don't have low hit in Federation. They do in NCAA, but I still think you want to take a look at that if they come in low without wrapping up. Okay? Yeah.
What are your thoughts on tackling and putting all your body weight on the quarterback?
Trying to punish?
I mean, it's not on there, but how do you talk through whether you're going to flag it if they are falling off the quarterback?
So I'll repeat the question. I'll let you answer.
Yeah.
So the question was, if the defense comes in, tackles them, and puts all their body weight on the passer onto the ground.
If there's any doubt in my mind at all, I'm throwing on that. I think that's an attempt to punish.
And I know it's not the category in the high school. I'll connect it to unnecessary roughness. I coach youth football. I will never teach a kid to get right into the middle of sternum, land on them, so their chin goes backwards. We do not coach that. We do not teach that. And I don't know a coach in America that teaches that. That is a player doing it on their own. Yeah, the same thing with the push tackle. They go to the ground on a push, it's a foul. if they have enough cognitive time to push instead of wrap-up tackle, they have enough cognitive time to stay off.
And the time it's really tough, I think, is not necessarily on a pass, but like on an option. If the kid's passed the ball and all of a sudden he gets buried, well, yeah, he's still faking like he had the ball, but you have to make that judgment. And that's where your eyes have to be in the right place. Is that an attempt to punish? Like, at least it's a talk to. Say, hey, you saw empty hands, dude, leave it alone. And again, these aren't really categories because we don't have categories for roughing the passer, but I think they're pretty good guidelines. You go on the next one, Zach. Okay, scrimmage kicks. Ben Hogan said putting's got nothing to do with playing golf. Just a second. I think kicking's got nothing to do with playing football. Football was piles, right? It's first downs. Kicking, you got 22 guys spread out. You guys got with bricks in their hand. You got crazy stuff. First touching, PSK. It's a totally different world. It's got nothing to do with football, but this is where all the crazy stuff happens. This is where all the crazy stuff happens. And I think, too, this is where coaches try to take an advantage. Yeah, you will play that if you want to, Sean. This is the mindset we're dealing with here, guys.
After 17 holes, you and your opponent.
That's all right. Gary Muley says, you're playing for the club championship. You're tied after 17 holes. You hit your drive right down the middle, 250 yards. Your partner hits his drive into the woods. You go in, look for the ball. He says, go hit your second shot. If I don't find it, I'll drop another one. So you hit your second shot about 10 feet from the pin. All of a sudden, he said, found it. Ball comes flying out, lands about that far from the pin. Here's your dilemma, guys. Do you take that cheating bastard's ball out of your pocket? And call him on it? Or you just let it go? And I think that's the mentality. And because this happened to us. We've had coaches have had a kid kick, the wrong guy kick the ball illegally. We've had coaches have a formation throw the ball to the center. And this is where it's going to happen, is in the kicking game, okay? And again, how big of a deal is it? Say, oh, it's a kicking game. It's tacky little things. You know, maybe that's not where we need to put our emphasis. Hit the next one, will you, Zach? Yeah. All right. Anybody recognize this play?
Tristan Alvano, a career-long 55-yard field goal
this is state
moments
final.
ago. This was him in high school.
Westside Gretna. Walk-off field goal, Tristan Alvano.
Stadium, trying to kick Westside to
Awesome.
the championship, and right
What
on
down was
through.
it?
And just
Second
moments
down.
ago from
When can you
55,
use the numbering
tough
exception?
start to his career
Fourth down or the
at
try.
Nebraska, but
Okay.
that's a big confidence boost.
Now, I don't know.
Matt Rule
That's
and
it. You don't need to play the rest of it. I don't know if they had the numbering exception. I didn't really look at it close enough with those red numbers on the black uniforms. But here's the point, guys. There's all the difference in the world between me thinking, all right, yeah, that wasn't exactly right, but I'm not going to decide the state championship on a tacky thing. Okay? That goes to philosophy. I'm on board with that. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. As opposed to, I didn't know that. Now, you know, all the difference in the world. So all this kicking stuff, all these little things, all this stuff that's got nothing to do with football, state championship game. And I don't, you know, I hope it's, well, either they didn't do it. Maybe they didn't use the numbering exception. I didn't know. But those are the things we have to know. All right, next one, Zach, if you would, please. Scrimmage kick, punt formation, okay. What's your checklist? Snapper protection, 10 yards. Some of these teams are kicking at 7 or 8 yards anymore, which means they don't get snapper protection. It's not automatic, okay? Numbering exception, like we said, 4th down and a try. Here's the one that'll get you. All right, if you're back and looking at the punter and Sean said, don't look at the ball's not going to foul. If you're looking ahead to see somebody breaking through, that quarterback goes down to a knee, or that punter, goes down to a knee to field the ball. Everybody in the stadium knows that but you. And it is a horrible feeling to think, oh, did he catch that ball on a knee? Okay. So don't let that get you, all right? And again, we got players all over the field. We got 22 guys. We got bricks in the hand. We got this. We got that. And you can play the little clip now if you would. I have no idea what that was, if it was legal or not.
All right, so we have, I'm going to put both those receivers on the line of scrimmage. We have three. All right, so this is a trick play, right?
So this has to be 100% perfect. All right, I'm going to put that slot on. All right, I'm going to make the formation legal. So this player is an ineligible receiver. I'm going to make it legal, cover him up. That's a good fake.
Okay. The point is on that, guys, if it's a tricky thing like that, like Sean said, it has to be 100% legal. It has to be, there's no wiggle room in that. Because you talk about making hard feelings. Somebody thinks they get fooled, they get shown up. Now it's like, dude, now I got to get my mojo back. So on those things, you hope the coach will tell you in the meeting, in the pregame meeting. If not, I'd say find a reason to kill that. No, it was an illegal snap or whatever. Yeah, they fooled me. But any tricky stuff, please make sure it's 1,000% legal. Okay, go to the next one, Zach.
Before we go to the next one, everyone understand the difference between this play and having to be 1,000% legal and 4 seconds left to win a state championship? Does the 4 seconds left to win a state championship, was that a trick play? No, that was just a game situation. All right? Where this is a trick play. I mean, those are two completely different plays. Two completely different plays.
Scrimmage kick. Snapper protection takes place at 7 yards. Numbering exception on a scrimmage kick. Oy vey. I think Sean gave me this because I obsess over numbering exception on a try. Okay? Just make sure you know the rule. We don't go into that right now. Know who is eligible on a scoring kick. We have our wings report on the 020. 15 and 81. Normally it'll be like a tight end and a wing back. On the other side, 82 and 10. So if this thing goes and all of a sudden number 17's in the end zone with the ball because he was using numbering exception, because the guy took his ball out of his pocket, now we know. We had a center catch a pass for an extra point and we let it go. That's on us. All right. Holder exception, know what the holder can do. If they're going to fake it, holder's got to get up. He can't have a knee down, flip it over his shoulder. What are you going to hear from the coach on that? We've been doing that all year. Not tonight, coach. I'm sorry. know who has the whistle, the difference between a try and a field goal. Referee's got the whistle on a try, right? As soon as that kick goes up, the back judge has a whistle on a place kick. What happens if the referee blows a whistle like a try? We've got an inadvertent whistle. That happened this year.
On a field goal.
On a field goal. On a field goal. Now, listen to what I mean, not what I say, Zach. That happened, I think it was in the Gretna Creighton Prep game this last year. Field goal. Goes up, whistle before the ball would cross the goal line, so it's still a live ball. I think it was Gretna missed the kick. Inadvertent whistle, they get a do-over, and you're just hoping they don't let. Made the kick, and it was good the second time. So use the 0-2-0, or we use the old days, we use the don't blow a whistle on that thing, okay? If you get a fire, you've got to, as a referee, you got to get to the sideline. Your wing is under the goalpost if it fire. Signal, let the colors separate. Guys, nobody's watching us to signal if it's good or not. You got guys under the goalpost taking those nice 2 steps out together that they practice. Nobody's looking at us. This is where you could get chippiness going on. Somebody got scored on, they got something to say. Let the colors separate, but you can signal. I know you're supposed to, but that's not your primary thing. And roughing, stay with it. Stay with roughing. You want to show this last clip? And I might have to I might forward that, Sean.
Possible turnover.
Because it's way up.
And if Nebraska ever had a blocked field goal play, this is the time.
Absolutely it is.
3 for 4 tonight.
You can see the rotation on the ball. Perfect spin. Hit it perfectly.
Dead center.
Good concentration.
Keep going forward. Keep going forward.
That long pass.
Okay, this is 1993.
To steal it from Florida State.
Everybody recognized Tyler Bennett, didn't
Nebraska.
it?
A tremendous win and a national championship.
If Nebraska kicks this, they win the national
And he
championship.
hooked it left.
Our holder got wiped out. Our holder got wiped out. Now, again, did the official not see it? Or do they not want to do over and not want to let Bobby Bowden run all over the field and hug everybody? Okay?
And he hooked it left.
It's,
Florida State wins.
again, eyes in the right place. The holder just got wiped out and it didn't get called. Okay? So again, this is where all the crazy stuff happens. And we got to have eyes in the right place. We got to know the rules to inform our judgment. All right, that's the last one, I think.
All right, I want to touch on a couple things because I don't want you guys leaving here with some questions. So we talked about the numbering exception. Oy vey. It's actually really simple. First, second, and third down. They're allowed the snapper to have a numbering exception. So it could be 48, it could be 12, it could be 1. First, second, third down. If it's fourth down, they could have all linemen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only the snapper, first, second, and third down. Fourth down, it's everybody. Now, I say that. If I had the opportunity to work a game that comes down to a field goal, and there's 1 second like Nebraska, Florida State, and they're bringing on their field goal unit, and their field goal unit has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like it's been all game long, guess what I'm probably going to do as an official? Let them go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is their field goal unit. That is not a special trick play. It's the game situation. This is their field goal unit to win a state championship. All right, but that is the numbering exception. If it's first, second, or third down, only one player, the snapper, can have the numbering exception. Fourth down, they don't need 50 through 79. If it's fourth down and in scrimmage kick formation.
What do you say when the opposing coach says, Sean? If he's on the wing here, saying, hey.
Yeah, so the intent of the rule, coach, I would do it the same for your team. If you had to bring out your field goal unit, and I wish they would change it to an obvious field goal or scrimmage kick situation like they are in other levels of play. But again, that scrimmage, the numbering exception is to prevent deception by the offense. When they have their field goal team in there with 1 second left to win the game, that's not the intent of the rule. All right, so
what if they run a fake in that situation?
now a flag comes out. Yep, now we have a trick play. They run a fake on third down. Now I have a trick play. Now I have a flag. Great question there, Lance. All right. All right, so the question was online, what is the exception with the holder in scrimmage kick formation in high school? That holder, 7 yards behind, has to have a knee on the ground. So with their knee on the ground, what can you do with your knee on the ground? You can rise back up, and now you could throw it. But what's the only legal thing you could do on the ground with your knee? You could place the ball down. All right, again, if you rise up, you got to come directly down to hold. All right, so again, there's a team, they literally, their holders like this. They're squatting because they want this holder to be able to throw it. But guess what they're not in now? They're not in scrimmage kick formation. All right, so they can't have numbering exceptions. All right, and by the way, that team that does it, they have 50 through 79, 5 players, 50 through 79 all the time. Because he knows the rules. But we tell him, your snapper does not have protection. All right. Now, do we tell our umpires to stay off the snapper out of protection of the snapper? Absolutely. But we're not rolling our arms. We're not saying snapper protection. We're not going to call roughing the snapper. We are going to prevent and like, hey, please don't blow up the snapper, but we can't call a foul on that formation. Okay, so we might ask them not to. Does not mean they can't. Okay. Excellent job there, Tom. All right, last portion of this evening, foul routine. People always ask, God, what could I do with my crew pregame, during preseason? This is what you can do with your crew every single week. All right, go over the crew foul routine. So number 1, collection of information. Guess which referee 99% of the time doesn't know the results of the play? The white hat. Everyone expects the white hat to know everything. They know the least amount of information on every single play. So always start with the result of the play. Then I always ask when, what, who, and where. Share the information O2O to the crew. All right? Everybody on the crew, if we enforce a foul, guess who's responsible for it? That's who Nate and Sean call, the referee. But guess what? I am blaming everybody on my crew. All right, so I'll use some information, if it fits in the conversation here, on my crew. Preliminary to the press box, again, after I share it with my crew. Because I don't want to present to the audience holding offense when it was actually holding defense. So referees, don't just go on your O2O holding. Both teams could hold, right? Man, how embarrassing is that? I present to everybody holding, and this is the direction of the offense.
The one thing that's really weird is you're preliminary to the press box, and then they go announce it, and they're like, I'm not doing it yet.
Yep, exactly. So it's funny you say that, Mike, because when I do my preliminary, it's like, it's really quick. It's not my theater. We're going to get to my theater. I'm just doing my really quick. I hope they don't even see it. Okay. Get, accept, decline option, team captain while talking to the coach. So I always tell coaches in pregame, if there's a foul, I'm going to go with what you want. If there's a true option, my line of scrimmage is going to find you. I'm going to grab your captain. You tell my line of scrimmage official what you want, and we're going to go with you. We will even change our mind if the coach changes their mind. So like defense or offensive holding, the defensive coach might want 4th and 3 instead of 4th and 13 or 3rd and 13. Right? And if he changes his mind, I'll change my mind with him. I have up until they're ready for play to put it, quote unquote, on me as a crew. Give crew final information. All right, so yes, I did say offensive holding, all right, to my crew. That was my preliminary. Now I'm giving my crew final information. Holding offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Now, what am I allowing my crew to do? Correct me. All right, because if I say holding 73 offense, 5-yard penalty, previous spot, remains 3rd down. What did I say wrong there? All right, it's a 10-yard penalty. Sometimes I have my indicators wrong. I said 3rd down instead of 2nd down. All right, so have your crew, give your crew the final information before you go to the theater. All right, so now my umpire, he has the ball. He's doing 1, 2, 3, half the distance. He's making it look great. Now, this is when I am now presenting to the public. This is the time I have to make my crew shine. All right, so now I am getting the parade rest. Holding, 73, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains 2nd down. Now my goal, wherever I'm at, my crew is done, I am done, we're going. So I'm getting to that spot, my next spot. So you wonder why I yell at my umpire. All right, so if it's supposed to be position 1, I am now standing in a position where it was supposed to be enforced from position 1, but instead he did it from position 5, and he's standing right next to me. It's like, what are you doing? All right, we didn't make our crew look good there. All right, so you got to have a crew routine. And then the last thing, I put it on my back judge or umpire, what's the clock status? Because referees, all right, you told us, Sean, incomplete pass. That was the result of the play. All right, sweet. I go through this whole routine. I make it look awesome. Pass interference, defense, number 44, 15-yard penalty, results in a 1st down. Do we remember the result of the play by that time, referees? No. All right, so umpire and back judge. You might say, Sean, I just told you 15 seconds ago. You have no idea what referees process. You have to tell that referee after the penalty enforcement, hot clock, cold clock, on the snap, ready for play, whatever your crew signal is. All right, so we're going to try to practice. Okay? So play number 1. 3rd and 17 at the 8:33. Eric, you're going to do my routine. Eric Nielsen, Eric with an A. 3rd and 17, 8:33. B44 makes early contact, not playing the ball on 8:88. So what do you got, Eric?
I got pass interference.
Gosh darn it. What do I need first? Result of the play.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the presentation.
Yeah, you're my back judge right now.
Oh, I'm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. All right. Hey, Sean. All right. I've got incomplete pass. Pass interference on defense number 44. Early contact, not playing the ball. 3rd, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 3rd down. Clock is close.
You're doing that on the field? What are you doing on the field? Practice what you would do on the field.
Incomplete pass. Pass interference, defense number 44.
Perfect. Pretty easy, right? Incomplete pass. Defensive pass interference, number 44. Excellent. Sweet. So now I'm going to get on the crew information. We have defensive pass interference, automatic 1st down.
No, Sean.
Perfect. Thank you. 0-2-0. No, Sean. Stop. Okay. Sweet. Why? Okay. What do we actually have here? 3rd and 2. All right. So sweet. Pass interference, defense. I'm going to get on to the crew. Defensive pass interference Number 44, 15 yards from the previous spot, remains third down. Yes. What's that? All right, so now when I get radio silence, now I can present for the crew. All right, I have my umpire, I have my H&L, and going. All right, so now I have the next slide here, sort of. All right, I know I get this from Jason. Jason says, I really like how you do the coloring stuff sometimes. So incomplete pass, all right, is the result of the play. So I made that green. When? During the pass. That could be important during loose ball, during the run, during the return, during the kick. What? Defensive pass interference. I have seen crews, all the referee was given was pass interference. Guess what most referees think when they hear pass interference? Defense. Then all of a sudden, whoa, Sean, it was the offensive player. Well, that would have been nice to know. All right. Number 44, beyond the line of scrimmage. All right. Again, the where here is not important, but you as a crew should have the same routine over and over and over again, because now we get to the next play. Who's an umpire in here? Lucas Raines, you're going to be an umpire. Play number 2 practice. All right, so I'll read it out loud. You're on the field. You're the umpire. 2nd and 2 at the B20. A74 grabs and restricts defender at the B22. And at the point of attack, A22 is tackled at the B15. So what are you giving the referee that saw none of that?
Hey, Sean, result of the play is inbounds, hot clock. I have holding A74 during the play, after the play. Wait, is A22 is tackled at the 15? Oh, that's just the result of the play. So I have holding 74 on the offense, 10-yard penalty.
What am I missing here as a referee? Where did the hold take place? Did the tackle shoot out and hold in front of the line of scrimmage, or did the tackle move backwards and hold behind the line of scrimmage on this play? All right. So we're at the B22, and the grab and restrict defender we're at the B20. The hold happened at the B22 at the point of attack. So where are we enforcing this foul from? All right, previous spot, because it was behind the line of scrimmage. All right, so good. Result of the play, you said tackle. First down inbounds doesn't really matter here. All right, but it was during the run, offensive holding. Number 74, because I think you just said holding, go offensive holding behind the line of scrimmage. If you give referees all the information, referees are going to be able to compute the information. But if you leave important words out, as in during the run, offensive, the number, where it was, the referee's not going to make the crew look good. So now I'm going to tell my crew, all right, guys, we got offensive holding, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It will be third down. Yep, go ahead, JD. Should be second down. Sweet. I didn't hear radio silence. That's why I give the crew everything. Right? I have done that. Where I go holding, 74, offense, 10-yard penalty, third down. And I signal that that is a representation of everybody on the crew. And that's why I give my crew the opportunity to save us. Not only save me, but save us as a crew. Right? Because really, chain gang, when they're watching me, they see me signal third down. Guess what they're probably going to do?
Change the box.
They're going to change the box, assume they're wrong, and we're right as officials. That's the respect that we have gotten. So that's why we have to take ownership of that. So referees in the room, if you don't have a foul routine, this is what you can practice every single week and hold your crews accountable. I know there was a college video that just came out. Because of this lack of communication, they did get it correct. So That's good news. They got it correct. But it took 7 minutes to get it correct. Imagine starting a game as an officiating crew after a 7-minute delay on the penalty enforcement. The more we communicate, the better off it is. Yes?
With multiple fouls, is there something that your crew does specifically as far as like who reports it and what?
So multiple fouls, as in the head linesman has illegal formation, the back judge has defensive pass interference. So since they're not the same foul, I go to my official that I'm nearest to first. All right, illegal formation, offense 5 in the backfield. Now I'm going to go to my back judge. Defensive pass interference 44. This is going to offset, guys. All right, so now I look for that radio silence. As long as I get radio silence, all right, fouls offset, remain second down, previous spot.
On that, Sean, like when you have like both line of scrimmage guys throw like pre-snap foul, right? You want them to come in and come to you and talk to you in case there's coaching versus false start. But on that, would you have them physically come to you in that situation since you have 2 fouls?
So I'll find the first one. I'm going to find the first one.
Yeah, you're expecting the other.
And then the other one, yep. But if you have 2 flags, you cannot give preliminaries. So like I, as a referee, will not do preliminaries if there's 2 fouls on the play. All right, because I only use preliminary when there's 1 foul. Now let's say there's a back judge and a head linesman. They both have flags. I want those 2 to talk. If it's the same foul, I only want 1 coming to me.
Say like if there was like potential pass interference between them, they both throw on that same penalty.
Only 1 will come to the referee. Or actually, and that one, if you both agree, yep, defensive pass interference, 1 official, pass interference, defense, number 77, incomplete pass. Sweet. I don't know why 77 is playing defensive back, but there it is. All right. Yeah. All right, so that is the routine there. And that is the end of our presentation today. You guys can stay here. Those of you who are online, if you do have questions, you could always email me. You guys can stay here and ask questions as long as you want. Everybody in the room has joined the PSOA, so I don't have to worry about that. And if you like golf, if you like Nebraska football, you got both September 14th. Golf at Ashland Country Club and the Nebraska football watch party afterwards. All right? Thanks for coming out tonight, guys. Yes. Yep. So once we get through all the practice,